Good morning, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So this week I'm looking at parables of Jesus. And in Luke 8, Jesus tells a parable that makes sense at first, but then what he says about the parable is almost, I don't know that it's as easy to pick up on. And I wanted to talk about it. So the parable from Luke 8 is one where Jesus says, you don't go into a room and you don't light a lamp, which, they didn't have electricity back then, so it wasn't light switches. If you went into a room, you lit a lamp. Typically one of these little clay things that held often olive oil, not the best part of the olive oil you'd eat, but the other olive oil. Okay, side information. But anyway, you don't go in and light a lamp and then put a lid over it. It's like saying today, you don't go into a room to work and turn on the light switch and then cover it up with a blanket so that you don't see anything. There's no point in having light if you're not going to use the light. Now, that part makes a lot of sense, and I think anybody listening to Jesus would have said, yeah, well, of course, that's a good point. But it's the next two verses that seem a little unusual. Jesus says, for nothing is hidden that will not be manifest. And then after that, he says, there's nothing secret, nor is anything secret, I think it actually says, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. Now, what that has to do with this idea of you don't take a light and cover it up is best understood if we look within the context of how Luke has put this story. And within that context, we see that what Luke and Jesus are telling us is that authentic hearing of God and His Word, authentic listening to the teachings of Jesus in a responsive manner is grounded in your heart. I mean, where you believe, whether you're convicted, whether you trust in what God is saying, that's in the heart. But while it's grounded in the heart, it's manifested in your actions. If you truly believe it, if that light is lit, if it's the purpose of your being, if you're living because you believe you want to be in God's will, you want to be in His in His grace in that sense, then it's going to be manifested in the way you live. You're not going to light a light and then cover it up. It's going to affect how you behave. And this is added by the last verse that Jesus says in this context of this passage, where He says, take care then how you hear. For to the one who has more will be given, but to the one who has not, even what he thinks he has will be taken away. And what Jesus is saying here is that we need to recognize that as we try to listen to the gospel message, as we try to decide, hey, I'm going to be a believer, I'm going to follow God, then we need to do that in a way that not only is a conviction of the heart, but is also shown by how we live. And when we walk faithfully, God will increase our chances to thrive faithfully. But when we don't walk faithfully, when we just say, oh, Lord, Lord, but when the going gets tough or when we don't get our way, we change and we drop the faith in favor of what we want to do or be, then even the ground we think we've got, even what we think we have, is going to be taken away. God's seeking a people who are not only authentic in their heart, but are authentic in their actions. So think about that every time you turn on a light today, because we want to illuminate our actions accordingly. That's your video thought for the day. One more parable tomorrow.